I am Susan, and I'm so thrilled you're here with me today. If you're a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming back. And if you are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what I have to share with you today. I think it's been 6 months since I've sat down in front of the camera and shared with you some of the things that I've been working on. I think it's just I haven't had too much time to craft, and so I feel like there's just really not much to show. However, if you're a crafter, you know that you always find a way to make something, right? So I figure I probably have enough of different projects that I've been working on that I could share with you. So it's not going to be in any particular order or anything. I'm just gonna go through what I've got, and hopefully it inspires you to be crafty, right? Whatever that is, knitting, sewing, crocheting, quilting, whatever it is, hopefully you find a few nuggets here that will inspire you. So where do I start? Well, since I'm looking at this beautiful pile of Liberty fabric, maybe I'll start right here. So the other day, well, actually in general, when I am looking for inspiration, I love to go into a quilt shop or a knitting shop or yarn shop or anything, just to be surrounded by beautiful things. And I think even though online shopping is possible, sometimes it's just nice to be able to touch and feel different things. And so, unfortunately, many of the quilt shops near me have closed down. I have one local quilt shop left, and then obviously the Joann's fabric. So I walked into Joann's the other day and came across beautiful Liberty fabric. Yes, Joann's fabric now carries Liberty fabric. I don't think it's a temporarily thing. I think it's just going to be the way it is going forward. And so basically what happened was I went into Joann's and they have this huge roll of Liberty prints, right? And there was like 40 or 50 of them. And so I just had to pick these up. I have no idea what I'm going to make with them, but you can't walk away and leave Liberty fabric standing there on the bolts. You have to get some, right? And so, oh, by the way, I should mention that normally when you go to Joann's fabric, they have many different coupons that you could use. Not with Liberty. Liberty fabrics does not, coupons do not apply to these. And so I think what I'm gonna do with these are likely going to be scrunchies for my daughter or some sort of pouch of some sort, but it's probably not going to be patchwork. I think it's likely going to be one print combined with linen, because I think the Liberty prints are generally pretty busy, right? Because of the small little floral prints. I just find that if I make a patchwork out of it, it kind of just all blends together and you can't really truly appreciate the beauty of each print. So I think I'm just going to select one print and combine that with linen. Since I'm looking at the basket back here, I picked this up the other day. I've always wanted one, and so I saw it at the store at Whole Foods the other day, and I just picked it up. It was, I think, the last one. That helps. When you see something it's the last one, you feel like you have to have it. And so in here, I have a pair of socks, and as you know, I always have a pair of socks with me. I finished one. It's a really simple sock. I cast on 60 stitches. No particular pattern, just knit 3, purl 1, so it creates a rib look. I love a rib look because I love rib socks because it's just extra stretchy, and I feel like it fits more people because the sizing is so forgiving. And then for the heel, cuff, and toes, I love using contrasting colors. The heel here is Susan B. Anderson's How I Make My Sock pattern, which is my go-to sock pattern. The only thing I did differently was I cast on 60 stitches instead of the 56 or 62 that Susan B. Anderson recommends. And then I just changed up the pattern to do knit 3 and purl 1. And then the second one is pretty much almost done. I feel like once you turn the heel, the socks just fly off the needle, right? I'm sure all of you can relate to that. So that's what I got right here. My son, by the way, is supposed to be napping, but he decided that he doesn't want to nap. So he is in his room playing with his trains quietly, but that's not to say he won't bust in here and decides that he wants to be a part of this podcast. But let's pray that he just plays quietly on his own. Once I'm done with that pair of socks, I have this other yarn ready to go. I think with this particular one, I am just going to knit a simple pair of socks, no pattern, just stocking knit. That's my really favorite go-to sock pattern because I feel like I don't really have to pay attention. It's just knit stitch every stitch from the beginning till the very end, right? Well, except for the cuff with the rib cuff, but that's only 20 rows, so it goes by pretty quick. I'm also, another knitting project is you may have seen this no frills sweater that I've made by PetiteKnit. I've worn it before on one of my previous episodes. This is like a fantastic pattern. If you're a beginner knitter and you're just looking for a sweater pattern, I highly recommend this pattern. It comes together so easily. It's fingering weight yarn combined with mohair, super simple. And I'm showing you this because I am making another one for a dear friend of mine. She's a quilter. And I just find that anytime I make something for somebody, if they also quilt or craft or sew or knit, they just appreciate what you make, right? Not to say that normal non-crafters don't, but I feel like when you make it for someone who also has the same appreciation, then that makes them knit worthy, if that makes any sense. So I'm making her the exact same sweater, same size, with dusty pink or dusty rose. I can't quite remember the color, but let's take a look. I've got the yarn with me. So here's what they look like. And for this one, it's Isager Alpaca Choux. I've used this before, and I'm 1000% sure I'm not saying the name correctly, but you get the idea. And the color is 61, and it's alpaca. I love this yarn. And then this mohair is my absolute favorite that I previously raved about, and it's Knitting for Olive. I love this mohair yarn because it's just such great quality, and I really love it. It's very soft, but it's not so fuzzy that it drives you crazy. So the beauty with knitting this sweater again was that I was able to have my friend try on the gray one that I made, and I was able to measure her and know exactly how long to make the body and the sleeves. So I have that, if I remember correctly, I've got that mark right here. You know, mine, I made it slightly longer because I like my sweaters long, and she wanted hers to just hit right on her hips, right? So I was able to measure exactly how long I want to make it. So those are the knitting projects that I have currently on the go. And as you may know, I don't like too many projects at a time. It just overwhelms me. I just can't handle more than 2 or 3. So, and usually that includes a pair of socks and a bigger sweater. So I'm happy with what I got here. And it's for the pink sweater that I'm working on. I am working on the sleeves now. I need to find the DPNs for that particular size and just switch from circular to DPN. I can't stand knitting sleeves on circular. It just drives me crazy. So I have got to change that to DPN, and literally it would take me 2 minutes to find it, but I just can't seem to be bothered to go look for my DPNs. Something else that I've been busy making is Papercraft. And if you've been here before, you know I love to make greeting cards. So I've got this box. It's from like Daiso, the Japanese dollar store. And I made these, labels to divide the different occasions for these cards. Because usually when I make them, I don't usually just make one at a time. I make a couple, right? Since you have all your supplies out, you may as well make a few. And once you have the stamps, you've already inked the stamps. So instead of just inking one image and cleaning it and putting it away, I may as well ink a couple more, right? And so when I have extra, I would just put them here. And so my son had a birthday party recently, and so I had a great excuse to make a couple of these thank you cards for all the little guys and girls who came to his birthday party. And so I just stamped the image, did a die cut of the thanks, and I've made several of these, and the inside is blank. And on the back, you've got my little logo. Can't finish the card without my stamped logo. So that's one. And then I also made a couple of other kind. Also are thank you cards. This is the other version that I made, and it's waffle flower stamp, and it's the waving hello set. This is the set that I got, waffle flower. I really love their stuff. I think they're in California. I could be wrong, but every time I buy something from their website, it comes so fast. Like 2 days later, it's here. And it's always packaged really well. I just really like them. So this is the set I use. Super cute, I love it. I made a couple in different colors, right? I think I've got some blue ones. I just love them. They're so whimsical and cute and happy. the stamps that Waffle Flower makes the stamps that Waffle Flower make are really cute. You should check them out if you don't know about them. Here's another set that I've made previously, and I don't remember if I talked about it on this podcast, but it's the thank you cards. I love this card. This is like my all-time favorite. I follow a Waffle Flower company, had a tutorial, and as soon as I watched the tutorial, I think it was like 2 years ago, I bought all the supplies that you need to make this. I unfortunately don't think that the stamp set is currently available. I checked the other day and it was all sold out. That may have changed within the last few days, but just warning, the background stamp that I use, it completely dried out. So unfortunately, I don't think Waffle Flower makes that same background stamp. So if you have recommendation for another background ink, please let me know, because I want to make more of these. These are so handy for end of school year with teachers and drivers and all the huge village of people who help me during the year. And this is the set that I got from them. And I think it's called Back to School. This is the stamp set. It's adorable. I highly recommend it. So, I'm a big fan. I think I have so many of the different sets that they make. So I've been busy doing papercraft. Oh, one thing I should mention is I figured out a trick. So you see this dinosaur that I colored? I'm sure most of you are familiar with Copic markers, right? Usually you do blending with Copic markers. Now, I have an entire set that I bought. I don't remember when or why, but I just decided I'm going to invest in Copic markers. However, I think this is a set of, I don't remember how many colors are in here for, I don't know, I'm gonna assume maybe like 100, right, in here, which is a pretty big investment. But then I realized that the colors are not sequential. So I can't blend them, meaning, for example, I don't have green in 00, 001, 002, and 003, meaning I'm not able to blend them because they're all different colors. So what's the point? What was the point of this box if you can't blend them, right? And so I was a little bummed after I bought this that I didn't think through that, right? I mean, these are great markers, don't get me wrong, but you won't get the blended effect, right, as you see here. But I figured out a trick. What you could do is, actually what I did was I just used a Copic green marker, and then I used my Prismacolor pencil on top of that. So I colored the entire image with light green Copic marker, and then I did the shading with my colored pencil, right? Because I have, like green in every different shade, right? And so I was able to blend with my color pencil. And then when I'm done blending with my colored pencil, I use the same green Copic marker that I used to go over the entire image. And it creates a blended look. And I did the same thing with the orange, and it worked so well. So it's a little trick for you that you don't need to buy Copic markers in every shade to get the blended look. You could just get one marker and cheat using the color pencil. That worked really well. So hopefully, if you didn't already know that, that's a little trick you can use in the future. Now, there was a point in time where I was super into Amigurumi. I still am. Somehow I just stopped making them because I think there's just so many. I didn't know what to do with them. So I stopped making them. But there is this book that I want to recommend to you. It's called Animal Friends of Pick-a-Pow, right? If you have not heard of or seen these books, you must check it out. I think she's got 3 out so far, and I want to say this is the second book that she has came up with, and the animals here are just so adorable, and her instruction and images so well written. If you've never made amigurumi before, I would recommend it. I didn't really know how to crochet. It just always confused me. I don't know why. Just when I crochet like a scarf, it's just the edges are never even. I can't ever really seem to get the stitches right. But with amigurumi, it's very different. I think basically all you do is you need to learn how to chain at the very beginning of every shape you make. You always like chain 8, for example, to make a circle, and then you crochet around that circle. And essentially what you do is you do increase or decrease, and that's really the key of shaping your pieces. and I just watch YouTube video, right? So for example, I will look at the pattern and it will say, start 5 stitches in a magic ring, right? I just look up YouTube how to create a magic ring, and then it will say single crochet in all 5 stitches. You just look up how to do a single crochet. Another one would be single crochet in next 3 stitches and decrease, right? So you just look up how to do a decrease. Really straightforward. Don't be intimidated by the shapes and the animal. If you are been wanting to try amigurumi, you should give it a try. So I've made this a little adorable alligator from the book. I made a bear. The bear was my first project. I think he's so cute. His scarf comes off, his hat comes off, he's got a little pom-pom. I've made the hippo. Oh, I also made a unicorn, but that's in my daughter's room. I gotta grab that next time to show you. So I made a couple of animals, but this alligator is my absolute favorite. I just think he has such a big personality. Look at him. Hello. It's like a little birthday alligator. Yeah, so I've made quite a few. It's got a little bow tie down there. I don't know if you can see it. He's got like a little blush cheek, big tail, and he stands up. He stands up on his own, which is great. So I have these on display in my craft room, and I think they're adorable. I've got these safety eyes. I talked about them in my previous episodes. I bought these safety eyes off Amazon. Comes in handy, right? I've used it on this little bear as well. And same on this hippo. The hippo was a little bit more work because I had to embroider these flowers and I couldn't be bothered. I just wanted to be done with it. I was like, okay, done. I just really wasn't interested in spending the time creating all those floral stitches. But amigurumi is super fun. I highly recommend Animal Friends at Pika-Pow. She has a 3rd book out. I think I'm gonna have to check it out. So it's a short episode, but I just thought, while my son was supposedly napping, I would grab all the stuff and just share with you real quick what I've been making. Oh, and by the way, I have a different background today. I'm still in my craft room. I'm just on the other side because of the sun, and I just think this is a better lighting. So I chose this background today, which I think I kind of like. So I may stick with this. So if you have a great project that you're working on, something simple on the go, please leave them in the comment below. We are going to be taking a couple of trips here and there in the summer with the kids, and I can't go on a trip without a knitting project, right? So obviously I'm going to have my socks with me. We're going to the beach and the ocean. So I think sock projects is probably most ideal. I probably wouldn't carry a big bulky sweater. I think it's just gonna be too difficult to manage, and who wants to work on a sweater under the hot sun by the beach, right? So I think sock is probably a much better option. But if you have any other suggestions, maybe like EPP on the go, English paper piecing, I think I've done that in the past, and I really, really like that because it's pretty small, easy to carry, and keeps my hands busy. So with that said, I hope you're doing well and that you found time to do crafty things that bring you joy. And thank you very much for coming by and checking out my podcast. Oh, I should also mention I've thrown a couple of parties, and as you know, anytime I throw a party, it has to have something handmade in there. So I will probably include a couple of segments of some of those things that I've done over the last couple of months, just to share with you some of the things I've baked. For example, I've been very busy baking. I figured out how to make this layered sponge cake with egg custard fillings, and it's delicious because it's basically milk and egg. Well, it's heavy cream milk, right? But I call that milk. I don't call that cream. I call that milk. And it's basically milk and egg, and you produce this delicious, creamy, rich filling to go with the cake. And to me, that's better than using like half a cup of sugar with butter. That's just never, I can't do all the butter and sugar. I think that's just too much, right? I mean, if I go to the store and I order it, I'll eat it. But if I'm making it, I feel very guilty because I know exactly what went into my cake. Then I just can't do it, right? So anyways, I will share with you all the things that I've been making. I'll include like photos and short videos here. But thank you very much for coming by, and I hope I get to pop over and record another short episode for you again in the very near future. Bye.